You are listening to the Pacers Report with Mike Rich every Monday on the Central Indiana Sports Report.
Pippen challenging. He's going to have to get it in. He's having trouble. Gets it to Reggie for three.
He's in the lane. He nearly lost it. He backs up and unloads a three. Oh, that did not happen. It hit the back of the rim. It popped high into the air, and it dropped gently through the net.
In 49 states, it's just basketball, but this is Indiana.
Before we get going, quick note. Mike dropped off the call for just a few minutes, so he may have repeated himself at one point. Not that big of a deal. This is one of our best podcasts yet. Pacers fans, welcome back to the Central Indiana Sports Report for this week's Pacers Report with Mike Rich. Mike is on the road. He's been out of communication for a few days, but been paying attention to the Pacers, of course. I'm at the Hartford City Public Library. Take some time to get the Pacers report in whenever we can, right?
That's right. I've spent a few days in Hartford City before.
Mike, I really don't want to belabor this point because it sounds like loser talk. I don't want to keep talking about wanting to lose because that's not really how I feel. I just hope they put themselves in position to give themselves the best chance at a top 4 pick while seeing some growth. And I think that's exactly what they're doing.
I agree. I look at these games as high-intensity practice. They are, I think those people that are the starters that are going out on the court, the players that are going out on the court are going out there to play the game. They're going out there to win the game. They're doing their best. They're getting better. At the beginning of the season, it was we didn't know what kind of a season was going to look like. But I think it's a win-win for us. I think seeing these younger players continue to develop, continue to play hard. I don't want to see my star player go down at the end of this year. I don't want to see a Siakam or a Nimhard, and if they need to restrict some minutes, I'd rather see them at full force at the beginning of next year. Carlisle's going to have a big problem next year determining who he's going to put in starting positions potentially if we're getting a number 1 to 4 pick as well.
They might need to make some moves to kind of consolidate because they're going to be really deep again next year. And I want to talk about a couple of those players. I think the 2 players that have been the brightest spot when it comes to future pieces. Of course, Siakam and Nimhard have been fantastic. Nesmith, when he's been healthy, he's been great. I'm talking about a couple of guys in Quenton Jackson and Jarace Walker. I want to talk about them in just a minute and the progress they've made. But for now, I want to look at the standings. The Pacers, after losing 2 in a row, Mike, we asked for it and we got it. 2 in a row to the Wizards, which was unbelievable. And then on Sunday, they are at home against the Mavericks, a Mavericks team that isn't making the playoffs either, and led for part of the game, but we're just not quite good enough without Nesmith, without Zubats, without all the guys who are missing. But again, a lot of progress and a loss, and still only 1 game away from being 4th worst. So there's only 1 game away from danger, but it's kind of going exactly as we wanted it to, isn't it?
As a fan that wants to win a championship, it absolutely has been what we were hoping for with this season. Young talent getting better, getting a lot of minutes, getting the opportunity to be in starting roles and just continue to improve. I just think this is part of the process of a 2-year process, and excited to see what we can put on the floor next year.
And Sunday against the Mavericks, we saw Cam Jones in the starting lineup. That's a good thing. He was also 4 for 4 and had 3 assists. So nice minutes from him. Kobe Brown, who came over in the trade from Zubats, who I thought was just a guy who would be nothing with the Pacers. 15 points, career high, 7 rebounds. Maybe he's something. And Siakam again, 30 points, 8 rebounds. And that guy just comes to play every night.
He does. He comes to play every single night, and he performs consistently. That's why he was an all-star this year. And I've kind of been paying attention to this Kobe Brown as well. Everybody thought Neesmith was a throwaway too to the Pacers, and I wouldn't want to get rid of Neesmith for about anything in the league. So I think Kobe Brown, this opportunity fits him perfect to really shine, and there's a couple things we can do there. He can become part of the rotation potentially in the future, or he could be something you could use as someone to trade down the road. But he's getting the minutes. He's getting tape. There's tape on him. So, I mean, people are going to recognize a kid that's getting, if he can continue to put a couple of those 15-point games together.
3 double-figure games in a row, his first kind of extended minutes of his career. So maybe there's something there. And then also I needed to mention Andrew Nembhard. He always looks like he's kind of in slow motion, but he has just been so effective this year. And, man, I'm looking forward to see what he and Zubats can do together.
That will be super exciting to see him with Zubats and Siakam together on the floor. Again, I've said it before. We've talked about this. I worry about that too, because honestly, we're at a point in the season where it's like I want to see some good play, but I really don't want to win the games. I want every single opportunity for the Pacers to have the number 1 pick. And
right. Mike, you and I have been Pacers fans. I can remember 1983 was the first time I remember being a Pacers fan, and it's been a lot of winning. We've seen a lot of playoffs. Mike, you and I together have had a lot of fun in some playoff games. We've seen almost everything as Pacers fans, and at this point, the only thing I care about is winning a championship. And if that takes losing this year and having a bit of a loser's mentality this year, that's fine.
And I think it's ridiculous that, the NBA chooses this specific year of teams that, the Pacers have not been a tanking team ever.
Not once ever.
And you want to make an example of the Pacers and the Utah Jazz. Okay. But OKC did it a couple of years ago and it was no problem. The Spurs
for 3 years.
The Spurs have done it and won championships in the past. I mean, it's just, and from a business standpoint, I think Silver's just thinking the money is not going to be there with Utah and Indiana if they have flashy high draft picks. And he's wrong.
I don't know what it is. Apparently gamblers got involved. I think there's a problem for sure. But to take the opportunity to those 2 franchises, and the Jazz are doing it more blatantly than the Pacers, but even if the Pacers are doing it blatant, those 2 franchises have never done this. Neither one. The Jazz have done it the last couple of years. They've not been very good. The Pacers have never once done this. Even when they were losing in the 80s, they were never intentionally losing. No. They sucked.
They did. It just sucked. And then they'd end up in the middle of the in the middle of the draft. And I mean, we took Reggie Miller at 11. I mean,
that's right. Bill Davis was 11, I think. And
I mean,
there's a lot of that.
But Rick Smith was the highest pick we've ever had at 2, right?
Correct.
So
And then 5 is our next highest.
Right. And Mathern was at 6, and Walker was at what? He was a trade from 8th or something like that.
Yeah.
It-
It's
As a
insane.
Pacer fan,
Not only I said this, I think, on the last one, not only should the Pacers not be penalized for this, the league kind of owes them for
they
being
do.
the consummate professional franchise in their league that has always brought their best to win a championship, never once done anything. Well, okay, that's not true. The mid 2000s, a bit of a lull, but always been a professional franchise. And it's just getting old. Hey, Mike, let's talk about Jarace Walker and Quenton Jackson.
Let's go.
All right, Mike, let's talk about the player who I think has been the biggest surprise this year. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it's just because somebody has to score and somebody has to put up stats for this team. Maybe that's it with Quenton Jackson, but I don't think so. I think his G League days are over. I think he is a rotation piece for this team.
I think he's definitely putting up the right numbers, and I agree. I think it comes with being in a starting role, having the opportunity. I mean, every player that's in the NBA is there for a reason. They can play, they can play their position, and it's just getting the opportunity and taking advantage of the opportunity. I mean, it's not major jumps between. Well, yeah,
Mike,
there is. I can't say that. I can't say there. But I think Quenton Jackson has definitely shown that he deserves an opportunity either in our rotation or on another team. And knock it back to the G League.
Mike,
He knocked it out in the G League, though.
Mike, his last 10 games, 16.8 points per game, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, shooting 61.2% from the field, 55% from the three-point line. And Mike, G League players don't do that.
That's the last 10 games?
It's his last 10 games.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, those are hard numbers.
It's really impressive. And not only that, but you can see it, Mike. He is so efficient. He scores. It seems like every time he gets in the lane, he scores. He has great vision. He is an NBA guy, and I think he's going to have minutes for this team next year.
Who's he coming behind?
I mean, right now he's probably the 10th guy in the rotation, but still, I think he's going to have some serious minutes next year, and this guy might be the real thing.
Might be. We found other diamonds in the rough, right?
That's right. You don't see it very often with a 27-year-old guy who's been in the G League a lot, but I think we got something here, Mike. I also think we have something with Jarace Walker. And what was it, about a month ago, we were saying the opposite. It was like we weren't even mentioning him with the future, and now all of a sudden he's gotten this extra time. And we talked about at one point he was scoring, but he wasn't doing the things that we loved about him, playing great defense, passing, rebounding. And all of a sudden, Mike, he's doing that too. On Sunday, 18 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, excellent defense. Jarace Walker's a piece too.
He is. He definitely is. And I love that, we drafted him, or, we traded for him on draft day, and have watched him evolve over the last few years. And this is exactly what we were hoping for at the beginning of the season. And I think if we had a healthy Jarace Walker and all the other starters other than Halliburton were healthy, I thought we would have been very competitive.
But do we find out about Walker and Jackson if we have a full team this year and they're playing for the top seed? And maybe that doesn't help for next year. Maybe this in the long run might be, I'm not going to say it's a good thing that Tyrese Halliburton or Achilles, but maybe there's a little positive to it.
we can call it a silver lining of
A bit
a
of a silver line. I
devastating
couldn't think of the
injury.
phrase. That's right.
And now the poor guy's got shingles. I mean,
Oh,
he cannot catch a damn break.
that poor guy. I shouldn't laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I had it one time when I was
Ooh.
right before I went on vacation, and my wife thought it was something else, and I was laying next to in the bathroom next to the toilet just vomiting, and she's like, "Yeah,
Mm.
you shouldn't have too much to drink." I'm like, "I did not drink that much."
Oh.
And I woke up and I called the doctor, and he's like, "Yeah, you have shingles," because I had this
Mm.
rash on the side, and it is awfully painful, awfully painful. And then I had to drive all the way down to Orlando and take the kids to Disney World. But when she
Ooh.
found out I had the diagnosis, she definitely felt sorry for me.
But you still had to do it.
I still had to do it. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
All right, Mike, last thing, the rotation for next year. We are almost certain we know the starting lineup with Halliburton, Nembhard, Neesmith, Zubats, and Siakam. We'd be shocked if it's not that. So let's talk about what we expect the bench rotation to be. Obviously, you have McConnell at point guard. You have Walker somewhere in there. You have Obi Toppin, Jay Huff, maybe Ben Shepherd, Quenton Jackson. It's a lot of guys. What are we looking at?
And then hopefully you have a Boozer or a Devanza or a
Caleb Wilson.
Wilson. Yeah. I do not want, I'm saying this on the record. I know he's great at times, but I do not want a Darren Peterson on this team.
Doesn't fit.
Does not fit. And I think we're too deep. And I think it'd just be a problem. But I think that's really going to make things really good for Rick Carlisle to make some decisions. He's going to be able to be very creative, and it will be exciting to go to some G League games too, because they're not going, it's not going to cost as much to see some of those guys are going to have to play the G League for a little bit.
That's right. A lot of decisions to be made between now and the offseason, man. What an offseason, Mike. We're not going to be able to take any breaks from the Pacers report all offseason, and I freaking love it.
I'm looking forward to draft day. Do you have a countdown for draft day yet?
We're counting down to May 10th to the draft lottery first.
The lottery, all right. Yeah.
May 10th. Big day.
May 10th.
Man, the league owes us, but I just have a bad feeling.
And if there's any type of conspiracy theorist in me, I would think that the NBA would go and screw us just because they have already penalized us for tanking this year. Oh, the Pacers are going to get the 5th pick.
Mike, they don't do that. It's all on the up and up.
Sure it is. You said who was complaining. It's these gambling sites and
the Thunder somehow.
That's just nuts. Nuts.
We got to get over this, Mike, and move on, but it's tough. It feels like the whole league's against us.
May 10th, we'll be over it. Or we'll be super pissed.
One way or the other. We will have a reaction the whole way, Mike. Man, I love talking Pacers with you. Let's do it again real soon on my daily podcast, Greg and his friends talk sports. We'll talk Pacers a whole lot going forward, Mike. Thanks so much.
Go Pacers.
Go Pacers. Thank you so much to Mike Rich and to you for listening. Please do us a huge favor. Share this podcast with a Pacers fan in your life. Help us spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about every single day. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of IPG Media, and I love food.